Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's Nancy coming to you live from the heart of our home, our kitchen, where I share a little bit of real estate, a little bit of health, a little bit of home with you on a consistent basis. Now, you know that I've had a hard time actually coming here to you of late because of appointments, which is great, right? And that's the way real estate is sometimes. You get a little delayed because there's showings that continue on. Hey, Mom! Anyways, I hope you had a great birthday. I love you. And big 92. And I know you're doing great and you had lots of fun. So thanks for popping on. Anyhow, so yeah, I've missed a few, and when I do miss it, I do miss you, and but that is the way of real estate sometimes. And today is the first Tuesday of the new month, so I always end up doing a little cooking. I have to confess, I definitely had this planned, but I was out on the road and I'm a little behind today, but I have a lot to talk with you about. And before I go forward with the fun of live from our kitchen, I do want to say a very heartfelt message to all of those who are struggling with this most recent hurricane. You know, the people in North Carolina and Florida and Georgia and Tennessee. I understand through some social media it's really, really bad out there, and there's a lot of people missing. There's been, of course, people who have passed, a lot of people struggling and hard to get to people. I actually haven't heard from some of my clients, so I'm very concerned about them. And then we had a colleague that, amazing story. They were actually on a local news channel down south, that he and his wife were rescued by helicopter. His wife was, and then he swam in the river with his cat, and they were both, okay. But it's just, thinking of everybody, praying for everybody. I know one of the things I love about our company, Keller Williams, is that we usually come to the rescue in times of need. I know that I belong to a group called the Virginia Alliance Group with several KW offices, but I know KW, nationwide, internationally, is giving and donating, helping and supporting this cause. So it seems a little, funny or frivolous to come to you and cook and, share all this goodness. But I do know that it's important that we celebrate the little things in life, right? Because we never know what the day will bring. So anyways, before I share with you the soup that I want to share with you, I will be doing the Yeti drawing today. And I also wanted to talk to you about this really great book I'm reading called Good Energy. And it's Dr. Casey Means, and she was a regular medical doctor before becoming a functional doctor. You may have seen her on TV, on social media, but her and her brother are really in the forefront of combating some of the bad business practices here in the United States with all of our processed food. So if you have any interest in understanding kind of what's going on in the world with our food industry and what it means to have healthy cells and what you can do proactively to help yourself with your own health with food, I highly recommend this book. I'm only on chapter 3. So just really loving it. She has a way of writing some technical information that actually is easy to understand. So highly recommend this book, and would love to talk to you about it if you end up getting it. Okay? All right, so there you go. And a lot of you know that I just finished this plant-based course, and I really enjoyed it. I'm kind of cooking two ways right now in my home because Jerry's not necessarily a plant-based person, so he eats maybe like 75, 65% plant-based, and then I cook him a bunch of other stuff. So, but this is a nice compromise, what I'm gonna make here. So it is a roasted tomato soup. But what I wanna tell you is that you can really do your own variations of it. And I love it because it's the type of soup that you usually have all the ingredients on hand, and it doesn't have any of the stuff that the canned soups have, right? So it's very fresh. So I'm going to show you kind of like the basics of it, and then I'll put it in the oven, and I'll show you a picture later on when I bring it out, okay? All right, so basically you need tomatoes because this is a tomato soup. And these are heirloom tomatoes. You can use any kind of tomatoes that you want. And you kind of cut them in the right, or excuse me, in a size that's similar. You know, so you don't want a lot of little and then big pieces. So you just kind of cut them in a similar size and you put that on the pan. I actually did 4 large heirloom tomatoes and for this recipe, but you can make it, you know, for just a couple servings. I usually like to make it and freeze it so I have it. And then you want to have some yellow onion. Oops, I didn't catch the end of that one. So, and all of this is going to go into the pan, and you're going to drizzle it with olive oil, or you could do avocado oil, whatever you prefer. Now, the class that I just took doesn't recommend oil, so if you don't want to use oil, you could use water. You could use MCT oil, which is coconut oil, which is a good one. And it's not just tomatoes. You could do just tomatoes and onion, and then of course I have some big cloves of garlic that I'm going to stick there. So let me just show you. Actually, sometimes what I do is cut the top of a whole, like half of big garlic, and then I just keep it in there. But it's really actually kind of a pain to squeeze that garlic out. It's very hot. You need gloves. So I've gone away from cooking this whole thing and roasting it. So I just take, this is elephant garlic. So I just take and peel these big cloves and I just stick them in there. I find that it's a lot easier because what happens is you stick everything into the blender after you're done roasting it. And I'm going to give you a few little tricks and some different suggestions. So you just stick, I have 4 of these cloves of garlic in here. And then for this one, I am going to add some carrots. And again, you just kind of do everything the same size. So my last batch, I had something else, which I'm going to show you what else you can do. Sorry, my hair, I should put it up. It's in my face. Oh, and I am doing some peppers in here too. I like a lot of color, and you don't even have to get rid of the seeds because you're going to roast it and then stick it in the blender. So I've got a couple yellow peppers in there, like anything with lots of color. So anyways, the last batch I made, instead of carrot, I used sweet potato. You can do that. It just helps with consistency and gives it a little bit not so 100% tomato-y. You could do acorn squash, and this is really fun to do, like a little honey butternut squash. I'm really into this honey butternut squash now. These are really delicious, roasted and put on a salad. So you could add whatever veggies you want. It's not just strictly tomato soup, but tomato is the main ingredient, and when you taste it, it will end up being, sorry, I'm not, oh, I got hair in my mouth is the problem. And then here you can put a little thyme on it, okay? So let me show you what this looks like. So here you go. And all you do is drizzle, let me see, a little olive oil, and then I'll show you what else. I'll move it over here. I got such a mess. You should see my kitchen. Oh, I did cut 2 little pieces of ginger, like really tiny, just to have that in there for a little flavor. And then you want to use some coarse salt. I would use sea salt, kosher salt, pink salt, something thick salt, not thin refined salt. And then of course some cracked black pepper. So there you go. And that is your main part of your soup. And you roast this until, you know, things are kind of blackened a little bit on the tomatoes. And then when it's all done roasting, you stick it in a blender. And again, there's a couple of variations you can do, and you can have fun with it. You can, I normally add some vegetable broth and then put it back on the stove. So you blend all of this. You could put this all in a pot and use your immersion blender too. That's a little bit easier than sticking it in the blender and then sticking it into the pot. So you put some vegetable broth if you want it more like thinned out a little bit, but you can also use coconut milk is a nice addition to your roasted soup. You could also use a little cream or half and half if you like. Kind of depends on your system and what your, you know, needs and wants are. Some people are dairy free, some people are gluten free. I say, you know, whatever works for you, but just trying to give you some ideas of what you can do with this soup and all the different variations. So I will do mine with vegetable broth, and then I will add just a little bit of coconut milk. And then the other thing is when you serve it, of course, you can get some nice little baguette, and put garlic. Of course, everyone loves grilled cheese. I have been experimenting lately with grilled cheese for Jerry. I just made a really fun pepper jack grilled cheese for him with our last soup. And then the time before, I made this delicious Gruyere and peaches and a little honey grilled cheese. Oh my gosh, with the tomato soup, it was so good. I had a little bite of Jerry's. But you can serve it with these roasted pumpkin seeds. You can, you know, sprinkle a little fresh thyme on top. You can also put a little basil, of course, on top of it as well. So you can put some, my husband loves oyster crackers on his soup. You could put some croutons. You can make your own bread, you know, crumbs or croutons. You could put some Parmesan cheese on it, a little Romano cheese. I know a lot of people love to actually put the Romano cheese in their soup because I'm trying to stay away from plant-based, although I do have my half and half in the morning. I mean, I'm trying to stay plant-based. I'm not really doing that much cheese. But anyways, I hope that you found this helpful. And actually, tonight I'm actually making potato leek soup, and that's going to be a first one for me. So I'm looking forward to making that. And so anyway, so that's that. And so in terms of the drawing, let me tell you who won, because I'm going to share with you what they wrote. And it was so nice. And I really appreciate, you know, Vicki and her sentiment here. And it says, it has and always will be a pleasure to work with Nancy Yonner and love to list. The amount of knowledge and experience Nancy has is incredible. I met her through my mother, who enlisted Nancy to help her sell and buy a few times. I remember her well. So when it was my time to sell my townhome and purchase a single family home, there was no hesitation in who I was calling. Nancy and her team were extremely helpful and supportive and were instrumental in getting me the most amazing price for my townhouse, which allowed me to comfortably purchase my single family home. Not only is she an awesome real estate agent, but she is a wonderful and caring friend. When it's time to sell and purchase again, guess who I will call? Well, thank you so much, Vicki, as always, for your support. You've also supported Jerry, my husband, in the car business over the years, which I am grateful for that as well. And it was a pleasure to help you. And we were super excited because when you were going into retirement, we thought you were moving south. And here you ended up staying in the area. Oh, Vicki, Vicky, I just announced that you are the winner of our nice Yeti cooler. I know you've won a couple things before in the past, so I'll be bringing that out there. I think I'm coming out to Winchester on Friday to meet a client. They want me to do an assessment of his farm because he is older and he wants to put me in his will for his family that I'm the one that is to sell his property, which is amazing. I've had that happen 1 or 2 times before in my career, and it just really kind of floors me when someone calls me and tells me and has me in their will. So anyways, so that's that. The last thing I wanted to talk to you about, as you know, I've been doing this Postscript Saturday, and I told you that on this Saturday that we have this really amazing property coming to market in Willowsford, which is a gorgeous, kind of a one-of-a-kind type of community. They designed it so beautifully, so thoughtfully. They have blackboard fencing. It kind of makes you feel like you're in the country when you're in Eastern Loudoun, which is not as rural, but they made it feel that way. They have a farm stand. They have lots of trails, lots of parks, dog parks, and you feel like you are at a resort because the recreational facility is gorgeous. They have a place that you can have a party. They have a cooking demonstration area. They're really into the food, and the cooking is kind of their main concept. So, and country feel and quality. So we have this gorgeous house coming to market. I will be sure to post some information about that as well. So September was family fun filled, and really looking forward to October. We're doing a holiday decor swap. By the way, Grace, thanks for that suggestion. Hey, I bet you are a great cook. And why don't you come and join us for our holiday decor swap? It would be so fun to see you. Grace is a long-term friend of mine from childhood. We grew up in the same neighborhood. And so anyways, I just really miss seeing you, Grace, and hope to see you soon. And Vicki, you're welcome. And I hope everyone is doing well. Happy October. And I'm going to be, if you live here locally, on Friday, I'm headed down to my Ashburn office. And anyone that's on the way from Purcellville to Ashburn, so Purcellville, Leesburg, Ashburn, I can pick up water or cleaning supplies to be donated to the trucks that are going down to the areas in need. So let me know if you live in those areas. I'd be more than happy to stop by your house and pick up something from you to donate. So if you haven't already, okay? All right, everyone, have a good rest of the week. Lots of thumbs up, lots of love, and keep smiling, all right? And I'll see you on Postscript Saturday, and take care, everyone, all right? All right.